Normally, I'd kick off a junk silver purchase and hunt video with me tossing a bag on the counter. But for today's video, we're not going to do that because I've got 440 quarters here, many of them proofs and many of them better condition, and I don't want to risk tossing them around. Hey everyone, it's RobFindsTreasure. Welcome back to my channel. I've got a 440 quarter search today, $110 in quarters. Now, there were two different bags that he had. He had a bag here that had some nicer quarters, and he wanted 21 times face for this bag. It's $29.50. I went ahead and paid it because I saw a lot of nicer coins. Take a look at that 1935 peeking through. That looks pretty BU. So I had no problem paying that. And then he wanted 19 times face on this bag. And that's about the going rate. There's some damaged coins in here, but there's a lot of proof coins in here. And so 19 times face on this and 21 times face on that, I'm good with. Just about 19 and a half, 20 times face on the whole lot. And like I said, I'm good with it because we might have some upgraders for my album. I have a complete quarter set right here, and I have a lot of BU ones in here as well, but I have some tougher ones in the early years that I wouldn't mind getting upgrades for. So we'll keep an eye out for any upgrades. We'll keep an eye out for any key date ones, any better dates, and of course, we'll definitely be looking for any of the Washington quarter major varieties that I have on my major varieties coin hunting mat. So, we've got quite the mission. I think first, I'll take the beautiful ones and set them to the side, and then we'll dump out all of the loose ones, and I'm going to take away all of the proof coins. We'll get them all set up, and I'll get them sorted by year and mint, and then we'll do a better date and a variety search. That's a lot to do. Let me go ahead and get this bag out, and then we'll dump this out live for you guys. Man, that is a lot of quarters, and there are a lot more proof quarters in here than I thought were in here. Holy cow. I don't really want to mess with them too much. That's why I kind of gingerly dumped them out. But man, there are some beauties, and some even have cameo on them. Of course, 1963 and newer should have cameo. It's the ones prior to 1963 you're looking for the cameo on. But man, these are some beauties. I'm glad I picked them up. Let me go ahead now and start going through here and pull all the proof ones out and then get them separated by decade first. And we'll take a look. Oh, and while I have you here, yeah, this bag looks beautiful. Holy cow. Take a look at that 35. The 41 looks good. Look at that nice 36. So I'm super excited about going through that bag. We'll do that after I've gone through these. I'll be back if I happen to score something awesome that I see with the naked eye. Otherwise, oh, and a dime. Otherwise, I'll be back after I got them sorted by proofs and by decade. Well, we've got all the quarters sorted, and we did get a couple of bonus dimes because these were not factored in, so they must have found their way into the bag. I'll take a couple of free silver dimes, so to speak. We ended up actually with 3 rolls of proof quarters, 61, 62, and 63. I already counted. There's exactly 40 in each stack, so we have 3 full rolls of proofs. Now, I will be looking for any that have any cameo or deep cameo on both the obverse and reverse. Those do fetch a little more money. But more importantly, I'll be checking all of the 1961 proofs for the DDO on In God We Trust and all of the 1963 proofs for the DDR on the part of America, United States of America. You want to look for it on the CA at the ending of America. So I'll be checking those for any cameo ones, deep cameo, and some varieties, and I'll do that here in a minute. I do want to point out the rest of what's up here. That's the nicer 64s, the nicer 63s. I just pulled them out because they definitely were really close to being BU, and I want to pay special attention for any varieties on those. These are the regular 64, 63, all the way down, and we only had a handful of ones in the 30s, only 3, but we did get a 1937 San Francisco, which is slightly a better date. I haven't checked all the mints on these. I haven't checked for any varieties yet. I will be looking for these varieties listed here. That's the main ones. We also had two 1953 Denver ones that were really stunning. I don't think they'll upgrade my personal collection, but they are nice. Probably will just toss them in with this bag when I go through it to make that a separate hunt. That'll make that bag exactly at 30 bucks instead of $29.50. All right, first step, let me check the proofs. If I find something along the way, I'll bring you guys back in. Otherwise, I'll bring you in after I've got them rolled up and let you know if I found anything. Well, we've gone through the proof quarters, and unfortunately, unexpectedly, we didn't have any varieties. I put the nicest example that has cameo on the top. Remember, in order to have cameo, it has to have both the obverse and the reverse. And these are circulated condition. So even though some of these might be cameo or deep cameo, they're not worth grading because they need to fetch 68, 69 or proof 68, 69 deep cameo to even be worth submission. That 63 is a beauty on both sides, but you can see it does have some circulation or at least some markings on it from being in the bag. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll those up. Now that we finished that, we're going to move on to the 60s stuff. And again, I'll be mainly focusing on any of the Type B proof reverses. That's where they accidentally use the proof dies on the reverse of Business Strike. So anything from 1956 to 1964, Philadelphia Mint, you want to look for those, as well as the Type C reverse on the 1964 Denver. And believe it or not, they use the 1965 clad reverse die on that one. So we'll be looking for those out of all the 60s and 50s. And then after that, I'll give you a recap on those and move on to the earlier 50s, 40s, and 30s for any other varieties or something that we might find that's a better date. Let me get these rolled up. I'll be back with a recap on the 60s. We have finished the 60s. No varieties found, unfortunately. But I'll tell you, I pulled aside all the nicer 63s and take a look at this. We have an end coin that has toning, another end coin that has toning, and they all have that paper toning. So I bet you this was a full roll of 1963 Denvers that also made its way into the bag. And yeah, I put them back together. Put them back together based on the two end coins and all of the edges. So that's kind of a cool find. Looks like an original BU roll of 63 Denvers, but no varieties in that either. I'll get that closed back up. Now I'm going to work on 1956 through 59. There's not many there. I'm going to check for the Type B reverse. Once I get that done, I'll move on to the rest of the coins. If I don't find anything in the late 50s, I should say, I'm just going to go ahead and finish out the hunt looking for varieties or better dates, and I'll give you a recap of the quarters before we move on to the nicer quarter bag coming up next. Well, we finished up that first bag of Washington quarters, and nothing really fantastic. No varieties found in any of the years, but we had three better dates on the older stuff. A 1949 Philly. I mean, in these conditions, they're really not worth much more, but they are still better dates. We also had a 1940 San Francisco, and then probably the best find, because even though it's in lower grade, it does have pretty good detail, a 1937 San Francisco, and with only 1.6 million minted, you know, I mean, technically it's about a $30 coin in XF, and this is nowhere near XF, so it's probably just regular face value stuff, but still might be an upgrader for someone's book. I'll hold on to the side. It doesn't upgrade my book, although it's not that far off. I probably have a high VF one in my book, and this is definitely in that VG range at best. All right. Let me go ahead and put these back in here, and yeah, that closes out the older stuff. And now it's time to move on to the nicer stuff. I'm not going to be dumping these out. I don't really want to do too, well, I will be dumping them out, but I won't be filming dumping them out. But let me get them dumped out and kind of just splayed across the mat. And we'll take a look at what we got in this nicer Washington quarter bag. Well, I've got the nicer quarters laid out, and what I wasn't expecting is to have so many in the earlier years. I don't want to touch them too much. Matter of fact, I might put gloves on for this. But there are some gemmy older dates in here. 35, 36. I mean, there's some that are not as nice. That 34 is nice, but it's not as nice as some of the other ones. 41, 42, 53. Yeah, we got some nice stuff in here. Also, we had some of these little slips, and it looks like it's continuing on with the proofs. 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, and a couple of 62s. So I'll get those taken out of these little bags and put into a roll because they are proof coins. But yeah, very cool. We'll definitely take those, and I will check those for any varieties if there are any. But these are the ones I'm going to spend the most time on, scrutinizing them, comparing them to my album, and also looking for any varieties if we're so lucky. I hope we have some mint marks on these, but just by seeing some of the backs, it looks like they're almost all Philadelphia, and that could be the case. Either way, we'll go through them. If I find something along the way, I'll bring you in. Otherwise, I'll bring you back after I've got them sorted to see how many we have of every single year and or year in mint. Well, I've got them all sorted, and I'll tell you right now, we definitely have some other mints other than Philadelphia, although the bulk of them were Philadelphia. The oldest, nicer quarter that we had was 1934, so no 1932s in the lot, but take a look at that 1934 Philadelphia. Almost a mint state, probably a high AU. I guess it could be a low mint state, and that's why I'm not wearing gloves on it. Just no need to, but definitely a nice coin. Could be an upgrader for my album, and we got a handful of 34 Philadelphias. The 35s and 36s were insane. I didn't put the absolute nicest on top because I knew I'd be showing it to you, but take a look at that 1935, just about BU Philadelphia quarter. There is a lot of them in great shape in the 35s and in the 36s as well. That stack's gonna fall. Man, that's a nice coin. It has a couple of markings on it, but still absolutely stunning for, what is that, 87-year-old quarter? Crazy. Hopefully they don't fall on me here. All right. Moving right along, we did get one better date in the 35 year, 35 San Francisco. Not so much a better date in the lower mintages, just when it moves up in mint. This is going to be an AU type coin. It's not really circulated too much, but these were notorious for not really good strikes. And it does have a little bit of wear from being circulated or from being handled. And it was good to see a San Francisco minted 1935. We got a better date. 1936 Denver. Of course, it's not as lustrous as the other ones. It does have some toning issues and it does have a little circulation wear, but man, that's a beautiful 36D. And the star of the show for the 36s is going to be this 36S. I know my 36D and S are not as nice as either of these. There is a little bit of milk spots or something going on the right there, but still an absolute beautiful coin. These are both better dates for 1936 as far as mintage. It would have been nice to get a 37 Philadelphia doubled die obverse. We did not get one, although we did get some nice examples of 37 Phillies, as you can see. And we even got a nice 37S, and it might be an upgrader as well. It's funny, all of the mint mark coins were a little bit less nice in the 30s than the Philadelphias, but still beauties overall. We got a 38P in pretty nice shape. Might be an upgrader. A whole bunch of 39 Phillies. Would have been good to see some mint marks on these, but definitely uncirculated examples, and I'll definitely choose the best one of those to see if it upgrades my album. We got a 1940 Philly in stunning condition. All the 41s are here. Most of them S's, but I'll show you the 41 Philly. Beautiful. The 41 Denver. Stunning. And any of these 41 S's are nice. Take a look at these. Holy cow. Man. Absolutely a great buy on this lot. 42 Philadelphias. Nice. And a 42 San Francisco. Obviously not as nice as the BU ones, but still a higher grade as far as a circulated quarter is concerned. Moving right along, a couple of nice 43 Phillies. We did not get any DDOs or RPMs. If you're wondering, I checked. And a nice 43 San Francisco could be an upgrader as well. The last of the 40s in the lot, there was a solo 1948 Philadelphia hanging out. And then from the other bag, I gave them honorable mentions, 253 Denvers in uncirculated condition to top it off. Like I said, we did not have any varieties. Now I got to go through all of these to see if any of them will upgrade my album here, because I do need some better examples in the older years. But once I hit 1940, I pretty much have mostly mint state or uncirculated quarters, save for a few. So we'll have to see how many of these I can upgrade in my personal collection. I've been waiting to do that. So let me go ahead and look through these now, and then I'll be back with letting you know what I was able to upgrade and maybe flip up a couple of the best examples of each year in mint. All right, there's a lot to cover here. Really quickly, I was able to upgrade the 36P, 36D, 36S, 37P. I was also able to upgrade the 37S, the 38P, and the 39. We did not have any other upgrades despite having beautiful coins for any of the other years, because like I said, most of these are in great shape, but we'll definitely take the 5 or 6 upgrades I got. Obviously, I still need upgrades in the 32s. A 34D, 35D, could use a better 37D, 38S, and 39S in the early ones. Once we get those upgraded, if we ever do, then I'll have almost a near mid-state set of Washington quarters, and that'd be awesome. Maybe I'll get it graded one day. In recap, we had 2 full BU rolls of 30s and 40s quarters, and these are the ones that are more AU or honorable mentions. I put together 3 early sets that I'll probably offer up on a future stream. They have 34, 35, 36, 37, 39, and 42. So there's 6 nice coins in each of these 3 lots. We got basically 4 extra rolls of just circulated quarters, anywhere from 1934 all the way to 1964. These were the ones I had in my book that I was able to upgrade, and you can see we had quite the upgrades on all of these. And really, I had a really nice 1938, but it has a lot of gunk on it. And so, I mean, I probably could have dipped it and made it look good, but I just never did. So bottom line is, these were the upgrades. I didn't put the 1939 in here because it wasn't that nice. And then I had that bonus 37S as another better date. So 5 or 6 upgrades and then an extra 37S. You saw we got the 3 rolls of proof coins, 61, 62, and 63. And then I put together a proof run of all of the Washington quarters that we had from this lot. 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, and 63. That's the best of each of the ones we had, plus the ones that were in those little slips. Overall, was a great hunt. Yeah, we got no varieties. Yeah, we only got a handful of upgrades, but man, thinking about what I paid, 19 times face for the big bag, 21 times face for these BU ones. I mean, a handful of these quarters sell for much more than 21 times face, and I would imagine most of them would get more than 21 times face, because that's just over what you'd pay for circulated quarters, and we got some really nice ones. Plus, we got some upgrades, and we got a bunch of proofs. Hopefully, despite the lack of varieties found today, you guys still enjoyed this quarter hunt. I know I did. Like I said, upgrades, BU stuff, proofs, you can't get mad at that. If you did, I would appreciate that thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, happy stacking, and thanks for watching.